Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee. And we've got a few things we're going to do today. But for the most part, we're going to be doing bone broth, beef bone broth. And I am going to can this up. I may very well freeze dry some, but I believe most of it I'm going to can up. So with that, I got my nice big roaster here. Let me move my glasses. We're also going to give my oven, I'm going to roast them at 400. Perfect. Some of these are frozen, so this is what I'm going to do. They're not completely thawed out. I'm going to oil the bottom of my roaster real nice. Okay. And I am just going to pile these all in it. These are some beautiful bones. I have to get this done because I literally have got more coming. So, we're going to get all these in here. This is going to make the most beautiful bone broth ever. Look at that. That one will slide right in the middle there. There's not a whole lot of meat on them, but oh, all that. It'll make absolute wonderful bone broth. Okay, I do this in two parts, friends. I do it a little different than other people. No, I don't boil my bones first. A lot of people do. They say boil and it takes the impurities out of it. Well, you can skim that all off because it does float to the top anyway. So this is what I do. I just put some nice olive oil on them. I don't even season them. I'm just going to roast them. Oh, I want to say these are going to roast for about 45 minutes to an hour at 400. And then I pull them out and then I roast them again with my vegetables in here because I want my vegetables roasted with these bones. It just gives it a much deeper flavor. And that's what I like to do. You can do yours any way you want. I'm not going to cover these up either. We're just going to put them in here. And no, my oven is not preheated yet, but it will be, and they'll be just fine in the oven. So, when those are roasted up, in about 45 minutes, I'll pull that out and I'll show you. We're going to just put some celery, onions, and carrots in there and some seasonings. And then we'll have to roast them again because I'll roast them until all the vegetables are tender. And then ultimately, those vegetables are all going to be in the stock pot at the same time. Everything's going to cook together and it'll be wonderful. Okay, friends. It has been about 45 minutes. Pull these out of here. And just look how beautiful those are. Now, they're not done, but they're gorgeous. And that dark brown on that meat, that's just going to give it so much flavor. Oh, those are beautiful. All right, so now is what I do. I got everything washed. I'm just going to chop these up, and I'm going to put these around in here because these are going to roast another 40 to 45 minutes with this. So I got 3 nice carrots here, and I'm just going to chunk these up and put those all around in there. I probably should go ahead and set this on the counter. Now you can see it better. Okay, we're going to put those carrots in there. We're going to cut these onions. And I'm only going, maybe I'll quarter them. Skin and all. I'm not taking nothing out of here. We're going to put them around in there. And they will roast beautifully. beautiful. This is going to be gorgeous. All right, now I've got some garlic here. I'm not going to peel it. I'm going to use the whole clove or the whole bulb. But you'll see, I am just going to just give it a little smack. Maybe. The garlic got there. Ouch. We're going to put these in here. Those are good. All right. We're ready to put that back in the oven for another 40 to 45 minutes at 400 degrees. So I'll see you back here when that's done. Okay, friends, this is good. I'm going to set up here just for a second. I have to pick up my potato because I also got my dinner in the oven. I'm cooking my make-ahead ranch burgers because I'm busy. But anyway, look at how beautiful that is. And it smells divine. So, those are just simply gorgeous. I've got my cooker here. Look at how beautiful those are. Anyway, I'm going to put all these and all this into my cooker with all these veggies. Now that all these bones are roasted beautifully. And I also, about the last 20 minutes, I put a little bit of water in here to make sure that the goodies off the bottom, I can get them off the bottom of the pan, you know, because that's going to be added flavor too. Now these vegetables are soft, but they're not mushy. So, perfect. Look at those, are gorgeous. It's going to make some divine broth. And this broth is going to cook anywhere from 24 to, I would have to say, about 35, 38, 40 hours maybe. And I got these bones. For those of you who are wondering where I got these beautiful bones, we ordered a quarter beef. I have to get these done. They've been in my freezer. We got our beef back in March, April, I believe. Anyway, that's when we got them. So we got another quarter coming that's going to run us through the winter time. So anyway, with that, these bones, to buy them in the store, I have a hard time finding them, for one thing. And when I do find them, they're pretty pricey. And we paid $3.50 a pound for our quarter. And I don't know, I think the bones were thrown in, you know. So if I did pay for the bones, it wasn't much. And this makes the broth way affordable. So look at there. All right, now I'm going to take, ouch, I just burnt my arm on it. I got to be careful, that bad boy is hot. I'm just going to scrape some of this off the bottom. And I'm also going to dump what's in this pan in here. And you will see that. Beautiful. Look at all that. Okay, now you can hear that just a sizzling in there. I'm gonna rinse this pan out. I'm gonna pour the rest of this water in here. I want them somewhat covered, but not like 2 or 3 inches, just barely covered. All right, that's good. That's gonna stay there and cool off. That's gonna be wonderful. All right, let me see where I keep burning myself on that pot. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now it's time to put in our spices and our aromatics. And I'm gonna do about a good tablespoon of peppercorns. Beautiful. I'm also gonna do some bay leaves. And I like to break them up in there because it will release more of their, well, that's gorgeous. It will release more of their aromatics. And right here, I've got a little fresh bundle of thyme out of my garden. And we're just gonna tie this on here because as this cooks, this thyme, the leaves will fall off. And then all I gotta do is pull out the stems in one bundle. Okay. I also would put fresh parsley in here, but I don't have any on hand. It's still in the garden. All right, so there goes the thyme. Beautiful. I'm gonna put just a little bit of salt in here. And that's good. This, friends, is gonna be wonderful. Let me give that a little bit of a mix. You can pretty much season this any way you want. And if you want, you can even add, if you want it real beefy, you know, you could add some beef bouillon, some extra beef stock to this to give it more flavor. If you do that, I wouldn't add the extra salt though, because it tends to be quite salty. So I've got this right up to about 275, closer to 300. Isn't that beautiful? I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on this, and I will see you when this is done and we're ready to can it up. All right, friends. This has been going now for about 36 hours. I think it's done. It has simmered for about 36 hours, just slow bubbles, just a nice simmer. And it smells divine. Okay, so I'm gonna start taking all these bones out of here. Now remember, there wasn't a lot of meat on the bones, so there's not enough worth saving, so isn't that something? And there's my sprig of thyme. This is going to be some beautiful broth. Bone broth is ungodly expensive in the store. So if you come across beef broth or beef bones, oxtail, anything like that, you know, any kind of bones, and make some good bone broth, it's so much cheaper. I'm going to get as much as I can out of here with my scoop. And someone made a comment about my big old scoop. It's got holes in it. You can see it there. You can see it if I hold it against my wall there. It's got nice holes in it. Somebody said that thing looks like a shovel. It acts like a shovel. I'll tell you that. I love this thing. And I got it at Amazon. I do believe there's a link in it for it in my description box. If not, I'll check. And if not, I'll put one there. Because these are nice. These are nice to have. Especially if you do lots of cooking like I do. Now my chickens will get most of this. Other than that, our friend, his dog is going to get the bones. He wants the bones for his dog. So, we will give him that. And then after this cools off, then I'll go ahead and strain it through my mesh sieve. And then I should have enough room in my fridge to put this in there so that the fat will solidify on it and we can scrape the fat off. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and can it the way it is, because when I go and crack the jar open, then I can scrape the tallow off. All right, I think that's all I'm gonna get out of there for right now. There's quite a bit there. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna let that cool down, and then we'll strain it again. And you'll see me back here when this is all solidified and I can get the tallow off in it. If not, you'll see me back here and we'll just can it up the way it is. Well, I was able to put this in the fridge and let it harden, let the fat rise to the top and harden up. So beautiful. We're going to scrape this off. And there is a lot of it here. This is what they call tallow, but I'm not going to save any of that. I'm just going to scrape as much as I can off here. Maybe not all of it, but a good portion of it. And it's all gelatin underneath it. Now we could can this, or we could freeze dry this. But this bunch I think I'm just going to can. And I'll show you how easy that is. Easy to scrape off. Some people like to keep that tallow to cook with. I don't want to cook with beef fat. I cook with olive oil. So I don't save this. All right. That's good. That little bit of fat I'll leave right on there. Now we're going to heat this up and get ready to get it canned up. And also, before I get all that ready, I'm going to do mine in pints. Now, I always do my chicken stock, my chicken bone broth in quarts, but I don't use as much beef broth as I use chicken. So I'm going to do my beef broth in pints. Okay. So I got that on the stove, and we're going to let that heat up. Let me get a lid. We're going to let that heat up. I'm going to get my jars ready, run them through the dishwasher, and I'll be back. Okay, friends, I have got my canner over here, my pressure canner. The water's heating up. Oh, I need to put vinegar in it. We'll put a splash of vinegar in here. That will keep your jars from getting cloudy. If you forget it, it's no problem. When you wash your jars before you store them in your pantry, just wash them with some vinegar. It'll take that cloudy off in them. All right, so that's all ready to go. It's heating up. This is hot enough. It's steaming. I got a bunch of jars ready. I got about 10 jars ready. I don't think I'm going to use all of them. But let's get busy. Let's get this all bottled up. I like to just take my 2-cup measuring cup and just pour it on in. Works beautiful. Within about 1/4 inch of the top, I'll probably have to add just a little bit more to each one. But I find this the easiest way instead of ladling it. I got my jar sitting on a tray just to protect any spills so I don't have a big mess. That works good. Look at that beautiful, rich colored broth. That was almost perfect. Maybe I will use all my jars. All right, we'll just start with this 6 first then. Okay. Now, because I better get my vinegar back out. I didn't think of that. Because I need to put a little more in this one. Because I'm doing beef broth, I need to put a little bit more in each of them, I guess. I like to wipe down the rims with vinegar because there is still oil or grease in here, and I don't want that to hinder my seal. If I'm doing veggies or something that's non-greasy, I'll just wipe them down with a little damp cloth. But because this is oil, we're going to use a little vinegar. That's it. Good enough. Now, I'm just going to, obviously you don't got to debubble this because it's liquid. So I'm just going to wipe these down. And they are warm. My jars were already warm from the dishwasher. And always remember, if you've got hot food, you need hot jars and a hot canner. If you're doing cold food, it's cold jars and a cold canner. But I'm doing hot. So everything needs to be hot equally. Make sure I get that one again. Okay. We're just going to lay these lids on here. And I know so many people are into the 4-jar lids. I don't buy them. I get all my lids from the Amish. I buy them by the bulk sleeves. And I never have a problem with them. Okay, we're going to put that on just finger tight. No tighter. Finger tight. That's it. And these jars are hot. Woo. Okay, in the canner, these are going to go, and we're going to wait for the rest of them. I'm going to continue to let that canner get nice and hot. Yeah, that water's warm in there. Okay, you can see all the jars in there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to put the lid on and get this going. Okay, friends. I got to do this from each side. No, I got that too tight. Okay, that should do it. Maybe not. Okay, we got that. I'm still getting used to this, but I love this thing. Okay, so we're just going to tighten it down a little more. No more than finger tight. Okay? No more than finger tight. Okay. All right, friends. Now that we got this all put together, we are going to let this canner heat up. And this little vent here, it is going to spew a steady stream of steam. We're going to let it do that for 10 minutes so that it expels all the air out of our canner, which in turn will ensure that that internal temperature of that canner reaches 240 to 250 degrees. Once that is done, then I will put my jiggler on there, which is right here, at 10 pounds of pressure. I got a universal one that's got 5, 10, and 15 pounds. I will put it on there at 10 pounds of pressure, and once it starts to jiggle, then I will time it for 20 minutes because I have pints. If you're doing quarts, it's going to be 25 minutes. So friends, I'll see you back here when I pull these beautiful, beautiful jars of beef bone broth out of the canner. Okay, friends, these are ready to come out of here. Oh. You open them up the same way I closed them, opposite sides. And we're going to lift that off. When you lift that off, open it away from you. Look at that steam come out of there. You will get a facelift. Huh. You never thought you'd get. I just set that hot lid in my sink. All right, friends, these are gorgeous. Wait till you see. Look at that beautiful, rich color. Beautiful. What a lovely addition to your pantry. My family's going to love this. And I got another quarter beef coming next month in August, which isn't far away at all. And of course, I'm going to get more beef bones. So you bet I'll be making more beef bone broth. And I use more chicken broth, chicken stock, than I do beef. But if I did another bunch like this, I've got 9, if I did another, 9 pints or so, I will definitely have enough to last me clear through winter. And I don't know how well you can see this. But that is just incredibly gorgeous. And most of the fat, you know, is skimmed off that. So that's it, friends. That's how easy it is to make bone broth. It's more tedious than anything. It's a wonderful addition to your pantry, and I know your family will love it, and it beats store-bought, and it's much cheaper. So there you have it, friends. Thanks for hanging out with me in the kitchen. We had a ball making this bone beef broth. I hope you give the recipe a try. I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching.